Welcome to Keep Talkin. My name is Kristin Marand, and today we've got Emily Wood of Emily and the Moon. Emily, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So you only started playing music pretty recently, right?
Yeah,
and you
within
started
the last couple of years. Yeah,
with a cheap ukulele.
the cheapest. Yeah.
So how did you teach yourself how to play music, and then how did you teach yourself how to write songs? How did that process start for you?
I've always written stories, like short stories here and there, and it was a challenge to myself to write a song maybe once in my lifetime. I wanted to write something short for once, and so I was playing around with music and jamming with a friend of mine, and I got really frustrated with not being able to play my own instrument, so I just picked up something really cheap that would be easy to play, and guitar didn't work for me. It was too big, and I was just sick of asking my friend, can we come over, can we jam again? So I picked something up, and he told me, once you learn 3 or 4 chords, you'll pretty much be able to play anything. And I was so excited when I did my first cover, and it was actually pretty easy. So I was like, hey, well, let's try maybe writing some of my own songs.
So what was the first cover?
First cover, it was a Decemberist song. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, you've mentioned that you're a writer. You have a blog, Pros and Constellations, but you also do some photography and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of these talents. How do they come together when you're writing or even performing?
They all kind of tie in together in different ways. I think I was really afraid of everything in my early 20s, like mid-20s, and so I felt like recently I've got a lot of time to make up for, that I spent being afraid of things, and so then there's so much out there to do, and I was just so afraid to do anything. It's like, let's do it all now, let's try photography, let's try writing, let's try music, and try getting out there, and you're only going to be young once, and I already wasted like so many years just being too scared to even try, so now I'm just kind of delving into everything I'm kind of slightly interested in and seeing what happens.
That's very cool, and the result has been really neat. I think life just grabbed you by the shoulders and just threw you in the pool.
Yeah,
more or less.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's like, you wasted all this time, now go make up for it.
So you talked about being afraid, and you've made no secret of battling anxiety, and personally someone who's gone through that also, I got to say thank you for being so open for that.
Of course.
What has helped you get to a place now where you're more in control of your fears or your worries, and that you can try all these new things?
A lot of trial and error and crying. I made, when I was 25, I made a list of like everything I was afraid of that I actually really wanted to do. And I gave myself till 30 to kind of do it, and which is now.
Okay.
So that's why all this stuff's happening now. And putting it on the internet, you kind of have to be accountable
to
do it. So trying things, failing, crying, but trying again, and a lot of support from friends. We're our own worst critic, right?
Absolutely.
And you tell yourself in your head it's terrible, everybody's judging you, but then you go through it and people are clapping and they're saying that was actually really good, and then you kind of keep doing it and you kind of keep starting to believe in yourself a little bit more.
Well, and it's that age-old secret about musicians, right? Like, if you screw up, you just have to keep going, because the only person that knows that you screwed up is you.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. So you played with a bunch of local bands before, sort of jamming, and you decided to do your own thing, go solo last year. What's been the biggest challenge for you working on your own versus working as part of a group?
Okay, working as part of a group there was a lot of joy to that, because I would write the songs just on one little instrument, and then you would bring the song to them and they would transform it into something that you might not have thought of, and it would take on a completely different feel. So being on my own now, it's kind of like you don't really get that as much. And also having performance. It's easier to share the stage with other people, especially when you're nervous.
You feed off their energy.
You feed off their energy, and you can see that they're really good and they're making your song something good, and you're actually part of it. So the focus isn't entirely on you. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge going solo now. Yeah.
So you're working on your debut EP, Ad Astra.
Yes.
And you've been working with a bunch of local musicians. Can you name a couple, and then tell me about maybe one of the most surprising things that you've learned about the process of recording?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's been amazing. I started once my last band kind of decided to part ways. I just put a thing out on Facebook and asked if anybody that I knew would want to collaborate on some of these songs, because I didn't want to waste them, but I didn't have anyone to play them with. And so the response was really cool. Like, I got a whole bunch of people, saying they'll do guitar, they'll sing, they can do whatever. And I think the most surprising thing is the kindness of other people. Like, these are people that are in bands that have clearly been successful, you know.
I saw Jet Set Satellite.
A guy from Jet Set Satellite, Dave, he's producing for me. Keith McPherson from Keith and Renee, a guy from the Perms, Pushing Daisies, like Dust Rhinos. Like, I've got people from some really good local bands taking a chance on somebody that's unknown, you know. So I'm just floored by people's kindness and that they're putting their talent into this.
I feel like that's a very Winnipeg thing.
It is
right?
a very
to
Winnipeg
reach
thing
out
to just
and
support
help
each other. Yeah,
selflessly.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah.
I'm looking very forward to hearing it. You have a show coming up, a songwriter showcase at the Garrick Hotel on April 10th. 20th.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Don't scare me.
Don't make it sooner than
No.
it is. And you are hoping to get the EP out in June, roughly.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah. June, it's 3 days before I turn 31 because my deadline was 30.
Perfect,
So
yeah.
I'll still be 30 when it comes out. So I'll be, you know, it's not a failure then if I do it before I turn 31. So yeah, I have the CD coming out on the 17th of June. That's going to be at the Kennedy.
Okay.
But yeah, just hopefully doing a lot of open mics and sort of smaller shows in between.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to hearing it when it's
Thank
ready,
you.
and hopefully we'll get to catch you on stage very soon.
For sure. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for being here today. If you have a creative project you'd like to share, we'd love to help you share it. Send us an email at keeptalkintv@gmail.com and like us on Facebook.